Hello lovelies and welcome back to the Honest Wargamer. My name is Darren James Watson. I'm joined today by
Benjamin Sava.
and we are here live at the Facehammer GT for Game 3 and we've got Beastclaw Raiders versus your love,
yeah.
Bonesplitterz. I don't know much about either of these races, so luckily Ben's here and he knows loads. We've just been swatting up on the Beastclaws though, haven't we?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is obviously a game that we think would be great for stream because it's something that you don't see very often.
Well, it's Ian Spink as well. I love him.
It's Ian Spink, who is a legend in the community, renowned for never taking Cunning Ruck. He's played maybe over 200 games with Bonesplitterz.
Yeah.
He wears his big game hunter hat to every tournament that he plays his Bonesplitterz. He's got a whole list of all the monsters he's killed, and somehow he's managed to get drawn against Beastclaw Raiders, who have a surplus of monsters. And interestingly, it's on table 1. It's not
on table 1.
We haven't even picked this out from the bottom tables.
No, I know Ian's on a 20-0 and a 19-1.
Exactly.
Which is really impressive considering how how for people that don't know, you get 14 points for a major win. You get 1 point if you score 1,000 points. 1 point if you deny your opponent scoring 1,000 points, and then 2 for 2 of your objectives, and 2 for denying your opponent's objectives. So it's actually super difficult to get a 20-0.
Both those armies are on 20-0 and 19-1 as well, which is fantastic.
How did the Beastclaw do it?
Yeah,
well, we'll find out.
No idea. Yeah, exactly. That's why we want to have it on stream. We want to see, exactly how he's doing that. And we've said a couple of times across the past few weekends, we're back in 2017, and now we've got we've got Bonesplitterz.
Not me, you.
We've got Bonesplitterz and Destruction on table 1. So,
how's everyone in chat anyway? Hello guys, how are we doing by the way? Because it's the first time we've done this.
Give us some love. We're live with all of this tech without Rob.
Oh god, yeah, I'm in my.
Neither of me
this
and Darren
is an absolute nightmare.
We don't know anything about technology, to be honest. I own a typewriter. I don't even have a computer at home. So we're going to cut across to the table. They're still deploying at the moment, but we're going to have a look and see if we can glean any insight into that.
Let us know who you're rooting for as well.
Yeah,
Red, I believe,
absolutely.
is top. Is that Ian top?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So Ian's red and Beastclaws are blue. So let us know who you want to win. I'm a very biased man. I'm a bit like Donald in that regard. I love Ian, so I'd really like to see Ian be the Facehammer GT champion.
Okay, well they're still deploying now actually, and we're gonna cut to Owen, who.
Oh, we got news in the field. Sexy Owen.
Give us some updates from the last round and see some of the matchups going into this one. Okay, so we're just gonna cut to him.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. So yeah, I've had a look around the table. Quick little round 2 roundup. Some of those tight clutch games which we're just finishing up, I'll just give you a little summary of where they finished. So Ricky Me continues to pilot those Fire Slayers with aplomb. He took out Andy Talbot. That's the Stormcast player. Sorry, Andy. I couldn't remember your name the whole way through that round. But, yeah, it was really tight. Having a chat with the guys at the end of the game there, I think it was down to a prio roll and maybe some saves. But, yeah, Ricky took that out and marches on with a 2-0. Another tight one which finished up was Dan Bradshaw beat Tom Maudsley. Again, I believe that was really tight at the end. And, Dan Ford, our Heat 2 Warhammer World winner, he went down. Luke Morton, Byron's pick, proving to be worthy of that title. Luke, with his Deepkin, managed to chew through all those rats, get to the heroes, and win in again another tight game. So that sort of wraps up round 2. Obviously, round 3, there's a lot of interesting games going on. We've got 10 tables where there are players with a 2-0 record. Let's go from bottom to top, shall we? So on table 10, we've got Matthew Crode playing Astral Templars, and he's facing off against Tom Maudsley. I believe Tom got a good round 1 result, and then he lent into his loss against Dan wasn't that heavy. So he's found himself on table 10. Moving up, we've got Dan Bradshaw with his Skaven against Tom Lees with his Gits. Again, those guys both on 2-0. Table 8, that's a big clash. We've got Mark Wildman with his Khorne Archaon. He's facing off against Steve Curtis with his Flesh Eater Courts. Steve really wants to play against something that doesn't have Bravery 10 so he can get those screams off. He's not very happy with that draw after facing 2 rounds of Seraphon. Those screams proving to be a bit ineffective, but, you know, Steve's a great player. I'm sure he can find a path to victory. So that's table 8. Moving up to table 7, Alex, after taking out the man we love, Donal, and Gotrek, Alex Ghostarm with his Skaven. He's rolled into James Tinsdale in his Ideneth. Another Ideneth player we talked about there, Luke Morton. He's taking on Heath Barnes. Now, shout out to South London Legionnaire Ben Raven, because Heath Barnes is going to be a hero of his. He's playing Tyrants, Khorne. He's got an Exalted on the table, so all manner of damage output there. That's the kind of list that Ben loves to play. So props to Ben. I'll let you know how that goes. Table 5, Brian Carmichael with his Slanesh. The power of the Slanesh continue to move on up through the top tables. He's facing Pete Scully's Skaven. We've then got Richie, fresh from the stream, using his Gits against Eric Herger with his Slanesh. Table 3, Ricky, we talked about, he's taken the ginger little fellas on to fight Slanesh now. So it's going to be that amount of power output versus the resiliency of the Slayers. Table 2, a legend of the game, 80 Mac, bringing Slanesh, and it's the Slanesh off. Double Nesh, more Nesh than you can deal with. More keep. So that's 80 Mac against Mike Wilson. Obviously, Mike knows how to run a Slanesh list, so that's really one to look out for. Now that's the top tables. Looking down through some of the players that we've been keeping an eye on. Obviously, Donal, friend of the stream. He's rolled into Kyle Edwards with his Stormcast. Laurie, bouncing at the table. He's looking hyped. He's looking excitable. He's facing George Evans with a Nurgle list. The Team Wales Bros, Alex and Andy. Alex has got Matthew Robertson, so it's mixed order versus another Tyrants list of Khorne. Andy's got Mikey Newman's KO, so I think that's a pretty good matchup for Andy's Slayers. And then my pick, Toby, he's not, he got a good win in the last round. I think it was a 20-0. He's found himself on table 14 against Michael Browning's Flesh Eater Courts. So yeah, that kind of looking like that's the overall view of the room as we see it. I think we need to go back to see how those lovely Destruction boys are doing. Babes in the booth, Benjamin and Dazza, over to you.
Thank you, Owen.
Thanks, Owen.
None of you can see, but Owen is wearing his socks pulled up, and he looks absolutely beautiful with his shorts as well.
Okay, so we're back to the tabletop then. Steve, who was a 4-drop, has outdropped the Bonesplitterz and decided to go first. We'll mark a couple of things off. It's his general, who is the Stonehorn, is here. The other Stonehorn is here,
the
and
general
the Thunder
flies,
Tusk
doesn't
in
he?
the middle. Yeah, this one here, the general, is the one with Thermal Rider Cloak, so he'll just be able to fly straight over that
Why he's
building.
hidden.
Won't append himself in. In the Bonesplitterz army, we've got the Savage Big Boss, who is giving out the exploding 6s.
With the Ether Quartz brooch.
With the Ether Quartz brooch,
Anyone
exactly.
that listens to List Diaries knows that that's my absolute favourite item.
Yeah, and almost auto include in any mad combo list, isn't it? I think
Absolutely.
In this one, he's going to be able to stack that onto those units of Maniac Weird Knobs, who will be hitting on 5 potentially with the Wizard spell, and all the Wizards are back here, and the Weird Knob is here. We're into the movement phase. And the Stonehorn,
and
who has fly, has had
Beastclaws are taking
6 to run.
Oh,
look
oof.
at that! Wow.
He means business,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
this guy, he's a
This
real
guy.
destruction player. So he's rolled a 6 on his run roll.
I'm not even going to use my tape measure.
Thermal Rider.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I hope he does that with everything. So take us through what the what's the formation that they've got then?
So the Braggoth's Beast Hunters.
Yeah, we just read it. I believe.
So it's a battalion that's mixed with the Mournfang and the pigs from Ironjaws. If they're fighting within 6 inches of each other, they get +1 to wound. And then once per game, if they've made a charge...
I thought it was hit. Okay, +1 to wound. That's pretty good.
And then... Well, it might be +1 to hit, actually.
I think it's +1 to hit.
I think it's to hit, yeah. And the Stonehorn...
Chat
gets an
can
extra
correct
wound.
us. I'm pretty sure it's +1 to hit.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And then once per game, any units that have made a charge that turn at the end of the combat phase or in the battalion, can pile in again.
Yeah, that's big, isn't it?
And that is huge.
Because there's some big...
Oh, wow. So he's shot with the Thunder Tusk, presumably just into some boys because he only had an 18-inch range, but he's rolled a 1, the dreaded 1. On the Thunder Tusk.
So he's just... Oh, that's interesting. So he's flown straight over into those... That's great.
So
he's really mitigated the damage that those boys are going to be doing from their shooting. That is right, isn't it? They're archers.
Yeah, that's the shooting at the back there. Yeah. Although, since they changed the skeleton hide.
Ian doesn't have any command points, though, does he? On his
Stone Skeleton is what it's called.
Doesn't have any command points on his Dewberry whatnot, though, does he? In his army list? Am I mad?
No.
So if he does enough damage here, he could take a significant amount of them off. Am I right? Or am I extra? No, he has bought one. Okay, yeah, that's very sensible. For this reason.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the Stonehorn can kill enough of them to take them below 20. Then you take out so many of their shots because they have 2 shots each. There's a unit of 30 of them, so that's 60 shots. But they get 1 extra each when their units when they're over 20. So if you can kill, they're 2 wounds each, but they only have a 6+ save. But if you can kill 11 of those, you go from 90 shots to...
This is some real shock and awe we're seeing as well, isn't it? Like he's just straight 48. In there, but he's really defensive with the rest of his boys.
It's an interesting, I suppose this is very much how you'd want.
He didn't take long to make that decision either, did he?
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins. Good man. So how many is he? What damage has he done there then? 4 are dead. More are coming off. 9 in total. So that's 18 wounds.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because he's posed a big question for Ian now, but he's still left all of his bodies at the back. He's.
Steve rolled another 1 for his D6 extra attacks. Bless him.
So it doesn't look like he's going to.
Do you know, I started off wanting Ian Spink to win. After seeing that move, I'm super excited about the Beastclaw.
Really
Come on, Steve. He has it in that one move. But yeah, it'll be interesting to know. I've got to stop saying interesting. All we ever hear is interesting.
Yeah.
Rob says realistically. Yeah. What do you say?
I don't think I have one yet.
You don't? I listened to James Tinder.
Yes.
Ben can talk into the mic. But I'll stop saying realistically or interestingly.
Okay, so...
How's Ian? Is he flustered by this massive charge? No. Okay, good man. So just from the table there, Ian is not flustered. Ian is doubling down and he's starting to poke back this big monster. And to be fair, out of everyone here in this room, this man is the monster hunter master extraordinaire.
Yeah, the big game hunter.
He's not going to be fussed about that move whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely no. He's just sent...
he's got his hat on! He's got his hat on already.
He wants to kill monsters, and he's just sent a monster right into his lines first turn.
So the Allegiance, do they get bonuses for attacking monsters?
They do, yes. So they roll a dice when they fight in the combat phase against the monsters. And a 1, I think it gives them a 6-inch pile-in. On a 6...
That's useful, isn't it?
Yeah. And then on a 5 or a 6, it gives them mortal wounds on 6s to wound.
Nice.
I can't remember what they do on a 3 or 4, if anyone in the chat knows.
He's looking for that 6, isn't he, then? Really? Realistically?
Yes, yeah, he would, yeah, exactly. He would, he wants to roll that 5 or 6.
1 wound has gone through to the Stonehorn with his skeletal... what's it called? A skeletal?
Stone skeleton.
Stone skeleton.
Which for those who don't know, it's an ability that halves the damage.
So you're Ian now. You're going into your first turn, Ben. How are you approaching this after this Leroy Jenkins moment from Steve? You're the Bonesplitterz player here.
Yeah. To be honest, I think that the thing that you're going to be taking out that Stonehorn with are the boys anyway. So if the boys don't, or the arrow boys, so if they don't get reduced below 20, I'd probably leave them in combat. To just shoot him off in the hero phase. You've got the Savage Big Boss there that can make their attacks explode. You've got the Maniac Weird Knob who can cast the +1
There's
to
no
hit spell
Cunning
on
Ruck,
them.
though. He can't shoot in the hero phase, can he?
No, he won't be able to shoot in the hero phase. He'll only be able to do it in the in the shooting phase. But he will be able to probably take that off in a turn if he gets the.
Lovo, you're right in the chat. He does have a couple of big stabbers. Where are the big stabbers? Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is amazing. So he's just used his Bragoth ability straight away, and his Stonehorn is now attacking for a second time. Steve is not messing about.
This is mad. Yeah, wow. What a great play.
No.
Wow, what ballsy, isn't it? Yeah, it's.
What I love is he's spending no time making these decisions.
Yeah.
So that suggests to me that he's just gone. He's found out he's playing Ian. He's gone to the VAR. He's down. He's down to vodka.
Yeah.
And he's going right. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
That's a man after my own heart. Absolutely.
Yeah, all in. Go big or go home.
But he's rolling a lot of ones, Rob, is he? Table boss. Oh. So this could have been much better. This could have been much better if he'd have rolled two pluses. He rerolls ones. Apparently he rerolls ones. He's rolling a lot of twos.
Okay.
It's always the way, isn't it, when you see some sort of stunning play?
Yeah, and they never pay.
How many
off
more
those
have
big
gone
risks.
down? How many more have gone down?
Although it looks like he's.
Hey, there we go.
Okay. It's looking. Ooh.
Right. So he's just rolled another. He's got an extra d6 attacks, and he's just rolled a 5. So he's got off of that. He's got off of that one rolling train that he was on.
Of course, the Beastclaw's biggest weakness is always going to be lack of bodies, and so a big.
This makes
Big
sense.
bold play at the start there, yeah. Take out a lot of his bodies. You know, like Ian doesn't have any way to bring them back. He doesn't.
Ian's
have
got to
any
use his command point, so his Ether Quartz Brooch isn't going to be as useful in that first turn of his. That's going to mitigate quite a bit of damage.
It
takes away the ability to roll 5s. 23 archers are dead.
Wow.
Turn over.
Bold.
How is Ian going to respond to this?
Yeah.
The thing is, he's got plenty of tools to get back into this game. He's got some very swift-moving ball boys on that left flank there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they'll cream those piggies, I'd imagine. I don't imagine they'd stay around very long.
Oh no, absolutely not. No, the ball boys.
CP was spent to keep the unit around very wisely from me, and he's got to keep his bodies on the table there. But
yeah, absolutely.
That CP he's not going to be able to use it for Ether Quartz Brooch next turn. So I think that's really bold by Steve. I'm really impressed.
Excellent. So yeah, I think already at this stage, Ian's going to need to start thinking about the scenario right away. Because
can you clean up the table a bit, Rob? So if I'm Ian now, and I'm thinking to myself, so these guys eventually are going to take out this chap.
Yeah.
Would you say? So he really wants to start pushing, not worry about that too much, and push down here. These piggies aren't going to take a double pile in from the maniacs. I believe they're the ones that get to fight twice.
They do. They pile in
combat
again at the end of the combat.
Apologies
phase,
if I get any rules wrong for Bonesplitterz or Beastclaw Raiders. They are not my forte.
And it's a unit of 10 there, and they have 4 attacks each, so that's 80 attacks. There's 2 attacks from the riders, 2 attacks from the boars.
The piggies are what, a 4-up save, 6 wounds, 5 wounds.
Yeah. So they should do it even in one round of combat. Really, they could potentially wipe them out. And then the obviously the objective is just there behind
They're grots,
them. So I think
Slavo.
he wants to take one objective early on. I don't think he wants to overcommit now and go for 2 because he's lost too many bodies in that first turn there. So I think he probably you're right. He probably wants to push over here. He wants to take out the pigs. He wants to put some pressure on this objective here.
Yeah, I think it's important for a sense of well-being and control to get a bit of to put your opponent under pressure when they try and put you under pressure as well. You don't want them to get any mental momentum.
Yes.
So Steve must have some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he's going to be feeling pretty good after that first turn play. He's taken out what is obviously seen as the big threat. Yeah, it's great. We can see Owen just in front of us. He's got a couple of updates, so something exciting must have happened, and we're just going to cut over to him for a minute. Right now. Here you go.
Cool. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Thanks, guys. Now, it's just a really quick little update. I've had a request come in from Adam Kunis. Again, I'm not going to rag on too much about Team Wales, but he's another Team Wales player. Now, famous for running Order Draconis, and he wants to know what's going on with Chris Tomlin's Order Draconis. Now, this is very much what I'm calling a swan song list. With 3 cities coming in, this build is not going to be viable anymore, and he wants to know how his Dragon Bros are doing. So, he's got a tough matchup, but he's on table 11. Must have lost his second game, a minor loss perhaps, because he's up there on table 11. He's got a shoot cast list with 9 long strikes, Azeroth, Judicators, all that fun stuff. He's deployed, keeping the dragons out of range, and he's given away the first turn. So he's looking to, not lose too many casualties on his first turn. I think obviously he can lose the Cav, he can lose the Dragon Princes, I believe they're called. But he's still going to have his big hitters all full wounds, and then he can basically go into those Stormcasts and hope for the double turn. I think that's his logic. So other than that, everyone's just deploying. There's some nice chatter going on. There's quite a few drinks being consumed. Cheers, mate. There's quite a few drinks being consumed, which is standard practice. Just wanted to give you that little Draconis update. So if the boys are ready, I think I'm going to pass back to the booth. Darren and Benjamin, here they are. So yeah, boys, back on you.
Okay, we are back.
Thank you, Owen. We've just heard from the table that the Boar Boy's over here. He's just rolled a double six.
I believe, Ben, we need to reintroduce ourselves after watching Rob do this. For those that have just joined us, my name is Darren James Watson.
And I am Benjamin Saba.
We're here for the Honest Wargamer.
Okay, so yes, the Boar Boy's here that we've just highlighted. He's rolled a double 6 on the spell Hand of Gork, which triples their movement. So they're 9-inch move.
They fly, don't they?
They're going to be going 27 inches and flying.
Are going to welly straight
there
into
you go.
these,
They can jump over the screen. They can take the objective. They could potentially even pile into both the units that are there. They're on cavalry bases. They've got a lot of space. And with the double piling, they might be able to take out both units here, I think. That's big.
Yeah, certainly. And he may want to just go and take out this threat right here, the Thunder Tusk. Just deal with it, get it done, and in later turns go for because I think that might be a bit of an overcommitment. Although it is certainly a play, but maybe taking out the character might be a good idea. So a command point, the single command point Ian had has been used for exploding 6s on these chaps here. Is that right? Oh, apparently from the table he thinks it's a mistake, but he's doing it anyway. Did he get any Ether Quartz Brooch 5s off, or was it a single command point that's been expended?
That seems like a mistake.
One command point, yeah. So that play was... I
think it's flustered him, hasn't it? Because I think that is a big mistake. You're wasting a command point there. You've got, seven archers. They're only doing 2 shots each. That's 14 shots, even on exploding attacks. You're generating 2 extra hits, like...
These not 20? Are they not 20 there?
They're not archers.
They're not archers.
I
see.
Boys. So he's done it on the archer unit that's just been smashed up.
Oh, okay, yeah, perhaps.
So, yeah, they've only got 2 shots each.
Oh, my bunker monkey is now stalking us. Thank you for that.
So he's only going to generate 2 extra attacks from that command point. They're hitting on 5, so even from 16 dice, you're doing...
Do you think saving it and keeping your boys alive is better then, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Yeah, now we can see this massive movement coming from these bad boys.
27.
Dreadslap is now stalking us. Thank you, Dreadslap. These are great names.
I think Ian's got to match him kind for kind here, hasn't he? He's done a big balls out play onto the flank here and challenged his objective. Yeah. So Ian's...
Well, Lavo in the chat mentioned that he's played Ian before and that he's typically incredibly ballsy, and I can attest to that because I've played Ian before as well. And he is not backwards coming forwards.
Yeah.
So he's going to want to retake this initiative, absolutely. Show him who's boss.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I'm the destruction player.
Exactly. He knows to decide who's the big
I
boss.
wear the hat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's not going to get into those grots, though, is he? So perhaps because I don't know if viewers know at home, but watching the top-down screen, the view is very skewed, and sometimes you can think things are going to happen, and, or a possibility, and they're simply not. So was. I've been told by Robert that isn't the case, but from my experience and playing it, experiencing the games, and then watching them back, sometimes I can't really articulate what I mean. But that's right. I don't know how to move my models. And what's Ian doing at the top there, Ben? Before I went off on a tangent, I sort of missed that.
So he's just moving his models up and around the Stonehorn there. Obviously, most of them are in combat, so he doesn't have too much freedom. But we've got
Captain, obvious 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I'm not sure. Did he sub then?
Thick and fast. I don't know what we're doing here, but they're subbing.
Well, they're expecting male nipple. That's what from me, I reckon.
Yeah, a bit of belly button.
Who doesn't like a bit of belly button? Matt, 1981. That's a great year to be born. That it's the same year as the Falklands War. That's my claim to fame. Good man, or lady. So he's not. It'd be interesting to see what he does with that second unit of ball boys. He doesn't want to overcommit, do you think? Because
no, I think he needs to keep that objective there, doesn't he?
The initiative is still with Steve. If he wins that priority, he's still going to do some big damage. Anyway, we're moving into the shooting phase. Ian is picking up a boatload of dice.
Not anywhere near as many as he's used to rolling, I think.
Thanks to Steve's ridiculous play.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking out that big threat there early on. I think that's what everybody's scared of in the Bonesplitterz army, isn't it?
We need a little interview at the end of this, don't we, with Steve? I want to know exactly what was going on in his head just before he decided to take the first turn.
I would imagine.
All the shots. So Ian is now shooting all his shots, all the few shots that he has into... Ancient Guardian is now stalking us, thank you.
Wow.
We've got all the shots into the Stonehorn. But that stone skeleton is really going to... These are going to bounce.
Exactly,
They get Rend versus monsters.
They do get one Rend versus
monsters.
One
Rend versus monsters.
But he has a 3-up save on his War Scroll anyway, so he's still on 4-ups. But I guess that guy's such a threat. Maybe
still quite a few dice, even though there aren't that many Bonesplitterz there, to be fair.
Yeah, and then he can't... Okay.
9 wounds to save. Wow. Steve, I didn't think he was going to muck about picking up the dice and rolling them, did you? Straight in there. Saved all of them but one! Hey, I tell you what, I am rubbing my thighs with anticipation. I'm clutching my knees.
This is exactly what you want in an all.
This is what I want,
match, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is it. It's just all out.
I really don't think Ian saw that play. The fact he flies, he let him get in there, didn't he? With perhaps you might say a deployment mistake.
He was hidden here behind the big building, wasn't he? So I guess he thought, or he assumed that he was. It
was a big 6. Perhaps it was a command point he used to do it because you have to.
He rolled the 6.
He rolled so he must have got a pretty big charge in as well. So Steve saw an opportunity and he took it, and I think he rolled a 12. 10 plus 2. Oh, that's for his charge. Yes, it's a big flying charge. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, yes, exactly. So here we see Ian is doing exactly what we predicted.
Wow.
He's trying to take the initiative back from.
Which would score him 3 points for that. So he'd score 5 points this turn. And I don't know whether...
Ian said what?
He always knew he was going to roll.
That is Warhammer, isn't it? that is Age of Sigmar for me.
That's it. Confidence, I love it.
If you're a distraction player, surely all you do is roll 10s for charges. 10 plus, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because sometimes destruction win games, don't they?
Yeah, I mean...
You don't, but it's when they roll 10 for charges.
There's going to be one destruction player who's won this game at the end of it, who's going to continue to be on table 1.
How many destruction players are in chat, and how pleased are they to see these two armies fighting each other? Game 3 at the Facehammer GT on round 3.
Bonesplitterz versus
double destruction.
Beastclaw
Who'd have
Raiders.
thought? Table 1.
Yeah. Wow. It's mad at the moment, isn't it? The meta, really. You just can't predict it. Every single week is something completely new. Like no Slanesh last
LLV.
week.
We're watching a proper game. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. This is how you play destruction, isn't it? As well. Just nuts out.
This is not how I play destruction. This is how.
This is not how you play it.
This is how you should.
This is how you should play it.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of Rob being the table boss. I think I'd want to be watching this close up. It's great. It's great fun. Rob.
But
can
yeah,
confirm.
so you see he's into the bottom